Welcome to the KnowHis.Love podcast. I am Father Michael.
And I'm Molly.
Molly.
It's been a minute.
I know. And I broke the news
I know.
at the end of the last episode. Just 'cause I was like, oh yeah, we didn't even talk about
well,
it.
Father Matthew broke the news on Instagram.
Oh yeah. Well, why don't you break the news for yourself now?
I'm pregnant.
What?
I am pregnant.
That's exciting.
Yes. Can't you see?
Not at all today.
I know. The
Yeah.
baggy clothes. But yeah, I'm having a baby this fall, which is very exciting. You've known about it for a while.
Yeah.
If you saw the video on the Instagram of Father Michael being surprised by a shirt I'm wearing, it said "Mom" on it, and that's what that was. You've known since the day I found out I was pregnant,
Yeah.
so you've known for like almost 4 months now.
That's also the comment that people say when they see that video is like, "What's happening? How did you know?"
I was like, I feel like this is clearly like I'm married. There's not really any other major.
I got a new shirt.
Don't you love it? I got a new shirt.
It's striped.
You remembered.
What flavor body armor is that?
Oh, we got fruit punch going on in here.
That's the stuff.
Yeah, it's the best. Zach likes strawberry banana.
I like strawberry banana. You're a fruit punch?
Yeah, I'm a fruit puncher.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll drink the strawberry banana, but I like fruit punch better.
Did you ever have naked smoothies? Do you remember those?
I kind of refused to because it freaked me out, the name.
Yes, but I loved them.
Are they good? Are they still around?
Yeah, they don't have the... there used to be one that I liked. There was some sort of fruit flavor, but then it had some kind of protein in it.
Oh.
And it was really... like, it was thick. It was good. One time I was in the car, and I was on the way to... This is when I was in my last parish. I got one, and I shook it up because it was...
Whoa.
Needed shaking up, and I opened it, and the bottle was broken, and it just like bleh, all over me. And it just looks like barf.
Yeah. I want to try those. I'm not as big of a Coke person now. I drink it, but
you're not supposed to now, or is that like?
Well, so you're not supposed to have a lot of caffeine.
That's okay.
Like it's basically 1 cup of coffee a day, but coffee has way more caffeine than Coke does. So I could have a couple Cokes a day.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't drink because I don't have coffee anymore. So all the times I was not here. Besides the last time, I did have the stomach flu last week. But all of the other times I wasn't here, I was dying. I was very sick the first trimester. But we're in the
morning
second now.
Sickness.
Feeling good. Yeah, it's all day sickness, really.
Yeah. Morning, noon, and night sickness.
Morning, noon, and night, truly.
Yeah,
so
but you're like back
really
to life
sick.
now.
I know. He said the other day it was just like I'm a new woman. I really was like a shell of a person. If you watch podcast episodes from like February through like half of April, it really I felt like death all the time.
She's
it's
just
pretty
holding
crazy.
on, yeah.
I know. I really was. You were like the only friend I saw during that time, and I like barely saw you except when we podcasted.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm feeling great. I really am. It was just like one day I woke up and it was gone, and then 4 days later I got the stomach flu.
Yeah.
And at first I was like, "Is it back?" But like doubly worse.
Yeah.
It was not back.
No, you were sick.
I was really. I went to the hospital. Fun fact. I'm doing great now. You knew that.
Yeah.
You're like, huh. Okay, I'm gonna just turn this.
Yeah.
Onto airplane mode because I forgot.
So.
But yeah, I forget. I feel like I was saying something else. Though.
You're having a baby.
Yeah.
Is there anything you want to share about finding out and what that was like?
Oh yeah,
because you guys are obviously excited to find out.
Yes, we were excited.
Yeah.
We were excited that we're having a baby. So it's kind of funny because Zach always I think I might have no, I wouldn't have been able to handle this. So Zach always wanted to be there when I took a test because he didn't like the idea of there being a break. Like you see these videos of people doing a surprise when their husband gets home from work.
Yeah.
I now looking back, no, I couldn't have handled waiting all day. So because sometimes I was like, that would have been fun to do. Imagine me sitting at home all day with
just
that information.
Shaking.
Yeah. I told 4 friends. We told our family that day, and we told you and Father Josh that day.
Yeah.
So I wasn't prepared to wait to tell my husband. But so I woke up one morning. He wakes up a lot earlier than me for work, and he was like, "I bet you're pregnant. You should take a test." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And I took a test. I was exhausted. He was exhausted, and I went back to bed after. And I thought I might have seen a very, very faint line. So I was like, but I was like, I think it wasn't the first pregnancy test I had taken, so it wasn't this moment for me. So I was like, I think there might be a line. And he was like, okay, I'll look. And then he looked and he was like, I don't see one. And I was like, okay, you could throw it away. So he threw it away. Then I woke up a couple hours later, and I've heard people say this, but this was actually a true experience. I was like, I think I am. Like, I'm going to take
what does
another
that
one.
mean?
I don't know. I just was kind of convinced I was, and I
Mhm.
had never really experienced that before. So I was like, because normally it's like I just took one a day.
Yeah.
So it was weird that I was like, maybe a couple hours later something else will show up, but I did. And then it was like not very clearly because I caught it like the day I could have.
Yeah.
But it was very like you couldn't deny there was a line there. But Zach was gone. And for some reason I just like I had never taken a test when he wasn't there before, but I was just
Okay.
like I think I was like I felt like I was, but I was also like I already took one, so obviously I'm not. So
Mhm.
it's fine. But then he was already gone for work. So I took it, I got in the shower, I got out, and I was like, whoa. And at first it was just like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like it really is real. And I took another one because I'm like, maybe it's fake.
Uh-huh.
It's this, especially when it's like your first baby. It's this whole just like
Mhm.
surreal. Everything is happening to you for the first time. Even pregnancy is just like, whoa, what is this? Like, and now my belly's starting to grow. You can't see it now, but like when I wear certain outfits, you could tell I'm pregnant. And that's like, it's all this first time,
Yeah.
these first time experiences. So I FaceTimed him because he doesn't teach for the first 2-3 periods of the day. So he was just in his office alone. Because it was early enough in the day. And then I just like FaceTimed him and I was like, I think it. I was so just like, I think maybe. But then I took the second one came up when I was on FaceTime with him. And then I like started crying and we were just like, whoa, whoa. It was like an out of body experience.
That's awesome.
But yeah, it was crazy. And then I just had to like sit around all day. And it was the worst day ever because I was so excited. I was home alone.
Mhm.
And then it was like, I'm not going to, he wanted to tell people together. So like part of me was like, I'm going to run over to the rectory. I'm going to run over to Max and Teresa's house.
Yeah.
But I had to wait. It was from 9 to like 4 when I think we told Max and Teresa.
Yeah.
And that felt like to some people, there's some people who don't tell a soul until they're 12 weeks. I'm 4 weeks pregnant at that point.
You couldn't.
I don't
stop
know.
Yourself.
I don't know. Maybe it'll be easier when it's like my second kid, but that was like hard to wait all day. So then I went to the store. I got Zach like a little gift. And I just like ran errands I didn't need to run. I just went to TJ Maxx. I couldn't. I needed to do things. But yeah, and then we told my brother and sister-in-law when Zach got home from work. And this was very cute because and I don't know if I told you this, but knowing Teresa, this makes all the sense in the world. We like told her she was pregnant. She's like, I have a gift for you. She didn't know I was pregnant. She knew we wanted to be, but like months before, she had ordered a onesie that said "Baby Stevie" on it. She's like, I've just been waiting, like had it on hand for whatever. So it was awesome. And then we told you that night, which was really fun.
Yeah,
you were very giggly.
It was a amazing surprise.
You were surprised, right? Like
I wasn't ready for it at all.
Yeah. It was awesome.
Yeah, I was not prepared.
It's one of the most fun things is getting to surprise people with that news.
I've been around you when you've told, particularly some of the students from the high school or former students, that is precious.
Oh yeah, it is really cool.
Sometimes excitement, sometimes just tears. Instantaneously.
I've got all the babysitters lined up in the world that I need.
That's great.
But that was the day of. It was very exciting. And I had about 2 weeks before the death began. The death. But it sort of made the first trimester sort of fly by. Because I would think if I was feeling really well, it would be like, I wasn't all that excited in the first trimester, I'll be honest. And that's part of what I wanted to talk about on the podcast. Just like different moments of just like feeling things that you think maybe are the wrong feelings, but they're real feelings. And I was so sick and I just didn't really feel all that excited. And you're also like, you don't feel anything like except nausea. Like you're not feeling the baby move yet. You don't have a baby bump yet, and it's like, this is 9, 8, 7 months away. And it just is like hard and when you're that sick in particular, it was really hard to be stoked about it. So it sort of made the first trimester go slow, but more so I think go fast, because I would think if I weren't sick, I'd probably be more excited, and then it'd be like, but then that's still it being so far off would be crazy. But now it's like 5-6 months away, which is like not that long.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think of the fall and I'm like, well, that's like the
Coming
next
soon.
season.
Yeah. Yeah. Summer goes quickly.
Yeah. And yeah, it's weird to think about, especially because this school year is about to end. I'm going to go back to school extremely pregnant
Mm-hmm.
and have the baby soon after I go back to the next school year. So, but yeah, it's just not, it's okay. I had to like realize that was okay. That didn't mean I didn't love my baby or anything, but like I was feeling awful. And that's not to scare anyone who hasn't had a baby. It's a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. From what I've heard, I had a particularly bad case of it. Some people don't at all.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not to scare anyone off. But I was very unprepared for the physical side of things, but also how that affects you emotionally. I was like, bedridden. Basically, when I wasn't at work, I was in bed like the whole day. And so I'm not hanging out with people. I'm sleeping a ton. So I got like pretty depressed, and it's just very isolating. And it's weird because there's nothing I could really do about it. It wasn't like force yourself to be around people, because it was like I was even more miserable when I wasn't in bed. So that's really challenging to get through. And I think, yeah, some people have that experience, but it's okay. And it typically goes away. It doesn't last the whole pregnancy.
Mm-hmm.
That's very rare from what I hear.
That's
I
good.
was like, I was convinced that was going to happen to me, though. Once I got sick, I was like, I'm going to be one of those people who never stops throwing up.
It's so crazy. One of my favorite things of all this has been you using the app that says what like size seed or fruit the baby is.
Yeah, you were there in the mustard seed days.
Are we at
man.
limes or lemons?
We're
now?
at lemons.
Nice.
In the big
lemons.
leagues.
The
Got
big
a little
leagues
lemon in there.
But like right from the beginning, before like you can feel anything or see any change, like you're already like intimately tied to that baby.
Yeah.
And it's totally changing your life.
Yeah.
In a terrible way.
Yeah. No, at first, yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're not experiencing any of the positive aspects of it yet. Like, I know I'm a mom, and like no matter what would have happened to this baby or does happen to this baby, I will always be a mom now. And that's like crazy. But you're not like living out your motherhood in the typical way of like raising a kid. I am by like growing my child, but like I sometimes people are like, it is in your control, when I'm like, I'm not doing anything. They're like, you're doing so much. But I'm like, kind of. Like, I'm not actively
eating and sleeping.
Right, I know. Eating way more than I normally eat, sleeping way more than I normally sleep. But I'm not like actively, it's happening. But that's like weird to get used to, because people are right. Like, obviously, if I didn't take care of myself, I wouldn't be taking care of the baby. But it's still like kind of, you're just living life. So it doesn't really feel like you're being a mom. But then you're also getting used to the idea of like, oh, but I am. And like working on naming your baby and all of that.
Do you feel not alone? This is a weird question. Like, you're never alone now.
No, I don't feel that yet. I think when I start feeling the baby, because I haven't felt the baby move yet. I watched it the other day, which was crazy. Like that's a very weird experience to see something happening inside of you, and it's very real. But like I'm not feeling it. But it's like there's not much space in here, so I'm not sure how I can't feel it. It's weird.
Yeah.
The ultrasound was a really weird experience for me, but I would imagine when I'm feeling the baby, I will. It's a little like, it's weird to like look at my body and be like, oh, I see the evidence of just my stomach being bigger, but I gotta scratch my ear, guys. This is really okay.
Everybody got that?
You paying attention? But I don't feel like there's something inside of me. But I think you do once you feel it move, because then it's like,
that makes sense.
Yeah. But sometimes I think about that. It's weird. Like, the baby's always with me 100% of the time for 9 months.
Do you talk to the baby?
No. Sometimes, like, sort of jokingly. Like, we'll be like, hi, baby. Haha.
Yeah.
But no. No, I don't. I was trying to, like, really think through that answer.
Yeah.
No. Maybe I will later on. I don't know.
It makes sense that it would be different as the baby grows.
Yeah.
As he grows.
Yeah, he's very convinced. I do not know if it's a boy or a girl.
I just have that's my gut feeling. It could be totally wrong.
It could be a girl.
It could be a girl.
If it's a boy, I guess I have to name it Michael now.
Yes.
But
Michael Gossett Stevie.
Father Michael Gossett Stevie. No, his first name is Father, and his middle name is Michael. Father. But no, he will only refer to the baby like if we're talking about it. He'll say he's blah blah blah. So he's very very convinced. Let the record show.
Yes.
We'll see what happens.
I feel weird saying it.
Yeah, I know. That
is
a weird thing about not knowing the gender, and we're planning to not find out. That's a lot of pressure for me to have just said that on the podcast. But that's the plan. Plans can change. So I always say that loosely, but we're planning to not find out. But that is one bummer about it is like it's my baby or my child, but saying my child is kind of like weird. So
yeah,
like really we say like our baby.
Youngling.
So, yes. The young Padawan. But sometimes I want to say like I wish I could say my son or my daughter.
Yeah.
And I could know the gender at now.
Why do you want to wait?
Well, I never thought I would. Like I didn't really consider not waiting. But yeah, I was just always like figured I'd find out. But Zach always has really not wanted to. So when we were dating, we talked about, all of these things. And I don't know how normal that is. I was like, as you do.
You guys were pretty serious fairly quickly.
Yeah. So when we talked about like having kids one day, he brought up that he wouldn't want to find out the gender. And at first I was like, I don't know about that. But then I kind of realized basically like he felt more strongly about it than I did. So it was like, well, I don't care as much. So like, we'll just go with that. But then like, as he gave me his reasons, they're really attractive to me. Like people we know who haven't talk about the moment of like the baby being born and the dad seeing, before the mom and saying like, it's a girl or it's a boy. And like how cool that moment is.
Yeah.
And I've also heard women say that it's like a motivation when you're in labor to like hold your strength that because like obviously meeting your baby is a big motivation, but there's like a surprise to find out. Like there's still something, and there's a lot of surprises in life there's not a lot of surprises in life anymore. Like we can know so much because of science, and I don't think that's a bad thing. Like if you want to find out, but it's like it's
a big surprise.
This is an opportunity for like a good surprise. And one big argument Zach always makes is like, we weren't supposed to know. Like God didn't make it so that there's like a window in my stomach so that I could see. You know what I mean? Not that, and this is not me saying God thinks it's wrong for us to find out, but like we know because of modern technology. So it's kind of cool to like go back to like, what it always was of like the baby was born. Like my grandparents couldn't find out the gender of their baby. So like kind of cool to just, and also I kind of is another way to just like surrender our baby to the Lord. Like of just like like not being able to plan at least for the gender in a certain way.
It's out of your control.
Yeah. But our deal kind of is like if it gets difficult where I'm like thinking about all the time, I don't think that's worth it then. Like if it's, I don't care about like crib sheet colors and making sure I'm buying girl clothes, boy clothes. So it's not really for that reason, but like sometimes I wish I could say like my son or my daughter, and we have our boy name and our girl name, and I wish I could be like call my child by name instead of like baby, So and I think it could maybe make me feel a little more connected to the baby. So if any of that at any point,
or like a motivator if you need it,
right? If any of that at any point becomes like too difficult where I'm like, I don't want to be like just thinking about it all the time. And if I ever get to that point, we'll probably find out, because I don't really think it's worth it, because if it's like consuming you that much, so it just kind of depends. So the plan is to not, but I also like, I don't know what's going to happen in the next 7 weeks that I have left.
This is a weird question.
Yes.
Does someone know? Does like your doctor know?
I'm sure that not right now, because you can't tell on an ultrasound yet.
Okay.
Usually you find that out at the 20 week, and I'm 13 weeks right now.
Okay.
So that at that point
They
we
will
would tell the ultrasound tech we don't want to know
Okay.
because it's obvious enough that they'll see.
Mhm.
My mom always says like, if somebody else in this world out there knows, then I want to know. She's like, but your ultrasound tech will know. I'm like, I don't see my ultrasound
Yeah.
tech anywhere else.
You hang out with them.
Yeah. So, but it was like it's just funny how everybody's kind of different. Because
Yeah.
I could see that like really being bothersome. That doesn't really bother me. But now like some people for gender reveals do like somebody has an envelope,
Mhm.
and that would really bother me if like you knew
That would be
before I
really
knew,
fun.
and you were like, yeah, I know. And also if I can't have access to the information.
Mhm.
If I do, I will
Like
look
it was
at
in
it.
your drawer or something. Yeah.
I don't have that kind of self-control, and I can admit that. I don't. I wouldn't like. I have a friend who they have 4. They just had their 4th girl, which is super cool. But they have not found out and found out for some
Mhm.
kids. I could see us doing that too.
That's
Maybe
what friends of mine have done because they
Yeah.
had girl.
Like
Yeah.
And if I right now it's like we don't have either.
Mhm.
I don't want more than the other. Like there's some ways I'd rather a boy, some ways I'd rather a girl. They're pretty even. So, but if I really wanted a girl, I would find out before
Mhm.
because I wouldn't want to be like disappointed at
Yeah.
all at birth,
Yeah.
which I think is normal. Like gender disappointment is a very real thing. The parents end up getting over it, and I'm sure I would, but I wouldn't want to like have that like
In that
as I
moment.
meet
Yeah.
the baby, you know what
Oh,
I mean?
bummer.
So if like we had like 3 girls or even 2,
Mhm.
I would probably want a boy. I'd be okay if I had a 3rd girl, but I would probably find out
Yeah.
ahead of time.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, but our friends, for 2 of them, the last 2, they weren't sure if they were gonna find out, and they had the you gotta gear up for the concert.
I know. I'm really tired. I yawn to everyone for people not watching.
Yeah. They had it like literally an envelope on their fridge.
Oh
And I
gosh.
stayed with them once, and I like woke up in the middle of the night to get water, and I was about to open that envelope, but it's not even my baby. I don't know how they did it. They didn't
Yeah.
open it. So maybe it's different when you have
That'd be tough.
when it's your 4th kid, but I don't
Mhm.
know. It might be a personality thing because I swear if I had that information in my email or I wouldn't. I
Mhm.
just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Even like yesterday, or not yesterday, when I had the ultrasound, I was like looking like as if it was soon enough to tell. I was like, maybe I'll be able to see.
You
Just
don't
very me.
you don't know the gender,
Yeah,
but you came back from Robinson with a pile of onesies,
I did.
including some Star Wars ones.
Yeah, I know. I almost was like, I'm gonna show them. Not doing that. But that's true. So, and that's another thing
It was exciting.
is I think at baby showers when they know the gender, you either get a pile of pink clothes
Mhm.
or a pile of blue clothes. And I don't really like that.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't want like not to say that I want to dress my son as a girl or vice versa, but like I like gender neutral clothes a lot. I'm sure I'll get some boy clothes and some girl clothes whenever
Yeah.
the baby's born, but yeah, I bought a bunch of gender neutral stuff that I liked, and I was like, every time I held it up, I was like, would I like this pictured on a girl, pictured on a boy? Okay, we're good.
Star Wars looks good on anybody.
I
So
know.
it's,
And that little bear
oh
costume,
my
not a
gosh.
costume, but it was like this little like
That's
Sherpa basically
yeah.
with like a little bear ears. Very cute.
Pretty cute.
Yeah. I'm ready for the cute
Well,
the cute clothes for sure.
What are you most excited about now?
The clothes. I'm just kidding.
The tiny shoes.
That's a good question. No one has asked me that.
All right.
So I might have to like really think about it. What am I most excited for right now? Probably seeing Zach as a dad. He's very, very dad vibes type of guy.
He's a
I would
paternal
say.
guy.
Yes,
Yeah.
very much so. He's, yeah. I just feel like he already has a lot of qualities that I can see. I already see qualities of a good father in him. Obviously, I wouldn't have married him otherwise, but it'll be really cool to see that. Like I see him with Miriam, our niece, all the time, and she's like loves him. And I don't know if you've ever seen her. Just like for some reason, she does this with Zach a lot when he's holding her, and he's talking. She'll just like stare up at him, and it's so cute. And seeing that like melts my heart. And I can't imagine like getting to see that with our baby. Like what a cool thing to see like my husband with the child I share with him being a dad. And I'm just so like aware of what a good daddy's going to be. So that really excites me to see him. But I can't I could picture it, but I can't fully know what that's like
Yeah.
yet until we're there. So I'm really excited about that. I would say that's what came to my mind first.
Nice.
And I am excited for the growth that will bring.
In you and
Yeah.
in him.
Yeah. And just in our marriage and in us individually, like it's the most life-changing thing pretty much you can go through. Like everything's going to change so much. It already is. We got our bassinet the other day cuz we got a good Facebook Marketplace deal.
Nice.
Check for the nice ones on Facebook Marketplace. Pro tip to all the moms to be out there.
Way cheaper.
Yes.
Yeah.
But like functioning, you know. And still like a nice one. But what was I going to say? Oh, but yeah, so our life's already changing.
I can't stop
What's
yawning.
going
It
on,
was
man?
a busy morning.
Yeah. But I'm very excited to see just like how I grow and evolve as a person. Like I think it can only make me better if I embrace it, which
Yeah.
I'm going to. And that's just like it's such a huge responsibility, and I'm excited for like the joy and the challenge of that because I know it's gonna be really hard. I love my sleep, man. And sometimes we talk about that, like it's a little weird and sometimes a little sad. Like it's not going to be just the two of us anymore. It's like really great being newly married. I think most newly married couples would say this. Like it's just the two of you. We're not responsible for a small human right now.
Yeah.
That's very convenient. I could kind of do whatever I want right now. But like to willfully give that up is even more beautiful, really, because that's like what love is. And we did that in marriage a little bit too. Not a little bit. Like you're laying yourself down and it's another opportunity to do that.
Yeah.
To become more like Jesus in doing that. But it's also, I think, totally normal and okay to admit like that's challenging, and there's parts of me that don't want that. Like I want and love my baby so much, and nothing ever compares slightly to like wanting independence more than my baby. But sometimes we're like, oh man, we won't get to do this or that, or like this will be more challenging. But it's like it's all worth it, just like all the things I sacrifice to get married, or you're committing yourself to this one person for the rest of your life, but it's all worth it.
Yeah. It's okay to mourn changes in our lives.
Yeah.
And sometimes you could feel bad about that, like you're going to another good thing and you feel bad for, that being hard, but that's just totally normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, when things change, when you're married, you suddenly it's just you two right now. We've talked about this before, that independence and freedom that a single person has isn't there.
Yeah,
and that's okay.
That's you as a priest.
Yeah.
Like you can't just do whatever you want.
Yeah, it's okay to. Yeah, I've felt that even with like probably early on. It's just like, yeah, you're always a priest. You're always recognized. You're always kind of on, and that takes getting used to. And it's okay for that to be a challenge.
Yeah, especially if like you shouldn't get married to complete yourself. You shouldn't have a baby to complete yourself. So if you're not doing that, that probably means you were good with your life before. We really wanted to have a baby, but I loved my life before. I love my life now. I loved my life before I was pregnant. I really wanted to marry Zach, but you said this in our wedding homily. I loved being single. I really enjoyed that time in my life. And I think sometimes it's tempting to want to hold on to like anything in our life that's good, but just because something's good doesn't mean the next thing's not going to be good. And I would say even better. And that's what my experience.
Yeah.
I loved being single. I couldn't imagine how great marriage would be. I didn't want to get married for a while, but then, then I met Zach. And, for a lot of my life, I didn't want to have kids. I knew that I would, because I knew I would get married. Like I just kind of knew all that would happen probably. But part of me was like, I don't know if I'm going to really like being a mom. Like a lot of, at Franciscan, there's a running joke for a reason about getting your MRS degree. And like some girls will really like go to college and major in something, but be like, as soon as I have a baby, I'm going to be a stay-at-home mom. That's beautiful. That's what some people want. That's never been what I've wanted. Motherhood hasn't been my like number one goal always. So, but like, I know that my life's going to be so much better. And, being with Zach just totally changed my heart on that. And I think I felt weird about that for a while, like that I struggled with the idea of like wanting kids, that it wasn't like this huge just like thing in my heart of I want kids. But I think, yeah, I've met other people who experience that too. Some people, it's just their lifelong dream is to be a mom, and they're great moms. Some people, it isn't, but then it becomes a new dream, and they're great moms too. I know that doesn't prevent me from being a good mom.
Yeah, that's probably really good for some people to hear.
Yeah, I always felt insecure about it. But there really was something about it for me. And I saw a video, I think Jackie Francois Angel talked about having the same experience. She has 4, I think she's pregnant with her 5th kid or her 4th kid right now. So good for her.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
you know, like she talked about having this experience of when she met the person she wanted to have kids with. That's when things changed for her, and that was very, very much my experience. I think it was like I had kind of like a healing experience with Zach of just like I always thought I'd be a bad mom too, and I think being with Zach helped to heal that. Um, but I think, yeah, it was just I had this healing moment with the Lord one day where it was just like my heart totally changed, and I went from feeling like I didn't want that to like really wanting that. And you know, we're having a baby kind of early on in our marriage. Like a lot of people wait a couple years, and everybody does it differently. But I just, if you were to tell me like 5, 6 months into our marriage, we're pregnant with our first baby. If you were to tell me that I'd be married at 25 and having my first baby at 26, like however many years ago, I'd be like, I hope I'm happy.
Yeah. I hope that works out for you.
Doesn't seem like that fun, but now I'm here. All this to say, I liked my life before, but now I'm here. It's like so much better. I've always been meant to do this. Like,
yeah.
I know God always had this child in mind for me, and I'm so excited to be their mom. Even though that wasn't always something I would have said, and that's okay. Like, it's not, we all have different experiences. So I wanted to share that because I know at least I always felt like kind of alone in that.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. I just talked for a while. But
that's all right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
What are you most excited about me
about
having
this
a baby?
I like babies. I love
Yeah.
my niece and nephews, and I watching them grow up, and
This
then
will be Uncle Father Michael for my baby
oh
too.
man,
So
and then just being around the different like families in the parish who have kids,
yeah.
and even especially, so next week I'm gonna give first communion to a girl who I baptized.
Oh.
So like Leon's little sister.
Oh,
So
that's awesome.
yeah, so just like I've known her entire life, and
Wow.
she's all these milestones, and she's really excited. And so so just kind of that experience. I love that experience in my own family with Sophia and Joseph and Edward, but also like yeah, seeing it in people that I care about. So I'm very excited to.
Oh, you care about me?
I do. I'm excited to meet this boy, this child.
It's totally gonna be a girl now.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, and just seeing like in my sister and in other people I know, man, being a parent is really hard.
Yeah.
But seeing how people kind of blossom into it,
Yeah.
that it's beautiful, and it's so intimidating to me.
Yeah.
Like, as not living that life and caring for a baby, that's really scary to me. But it's an incredible thing to see people grow into it and become more and more themselves.
Yeah.
And more loving and more giving, and that's really awesome.
Yeah. And it's cool because sometimes when I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like you hear about how hard it is. Pregnancy, now knowing how hard it is, but now it's great. I'm having a good time. But the first little bit, from what I hear, is like first trimester very hard, second trimester living your best life, third gets hard again because then it's like
there's weight
waddling
involved.
around. Yeah, right.
More than a lemon.
Yeah, just a little bit. It gets to watermelon. I'm pretty sure. But like you think about that, but most people have more than one kid. I don't know if that's statistically true, but it feels like it's probably true. Like most people who have kids don't stop at one.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's just proof that like the goodness outweighs the difficulty. Yes, the reality is my life's going to get a lot harder, but based on everything I know and like just my faith in the Lord, my life's going to get so much more beautiful. Like, to have my own child, that's like crazy, but it's very exciting.
Harder doesn't mean bad.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's so like not what the world says.
No.
Like it's do everything that's convenient. And I think people are having less kids or waiting longer to have kids to like live your life the way you want to until it's like you're almost too old to get pregnant and then get pregnant. But yeah, it's very countercultural to have a baby. Even at 26, though, in the Catholic world, I feel like I'm old.
Yeah, you've waited so long.
Right?
What's wrong with you?
Like plenty of people my age have like 4 kids by now.
And right out
in
of
my
college
circles.
and stuff.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But no, I mean,
You're not
generally
old.
speaking, yeah, I know. But generally speaking, like to having a baby at 26, getting married at 25 is like countercultural. But it's awesome. I think it's such a witness, and that's what life is all about. Is life like?
Yeah.
There's nothing more meaningful I can do in this life than to like raise a baby to be a saint. There's nothing more meaningful I can do because I can't, create the Eucharist. So
I can do that.
Yeah. So that's not saying you're fine.
I'll do my thing.
You're
do
doing
thing.
plenty of meaningful work over there. But yeah, like, which is just so amazing. Like, I'm doing that, and the Lord's allowing me to do that. Yeah, can't wait to introduce the baby to everyone.
Yeah, special guest, baby Stevie.
Yeah, I will have to bring. I was like, what noise are you making?
It was a baby noise.
I'll definitely have to bring the baby on.
Yeah.
For an episode. Maybe I might be, you never
know. You
know.
might have to.
Just holding the baby, but they sleep a lot at first. So
that'd be good.
We could take breaks if they cry.
I'll hold the baby.
Trade them off, yeah.
Get a bassinet right here.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll have a podcast bassinet that just stays here.
Maybe we can, through our merch thing, like the KnowHis.Love bassinet, other people can buy it too.
I love it.
Looks like a hot dog. Or the baby's the hot dog in a bun.
I don't know what it is, but I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'll get on the designing. Okay. I've got 6 months. We're good.
All right.
Oh, that was fast.
Yeah.
I love my baby, I guess.
Is that your answer?
Yeah.
Has God loved you lately? There's a baby?
Oh, yeah. I've been wanting to say that for a lot.
Yeah.
Or wanting to say all the people who take care of me when I'm sick. No, that's definitely my answer. Yeah. My baby, getting to watch them grow, and yeah, the fact that my baby's healthy. So that's a very scary thing about the first trimester, is a lot can go wrong, but praise God, everything's going well and healthy so far. So yeah.
Nice.
Baby Stevie. What about you?
Today was confirmation at our parish, and that's always great. It was a big crowd of kids, and yesterday I did like a rehearsal with them and talked to them for a while and just like went through what this means, to kind of like really hit them at the end with how important this is. It was really satisfying and great to see their excitement.
Yeah.
And even today, Bishop Monforn always asks, will you be open to being a priest or sister, in his homily? And some of those kids really yelled yes.
That's awesome. Good for them.
It was really
lots
cute,
of vocations coming out of Blessed Sacrament.
Yeah, so that was it's just such a cool thing to see.
Yeah.
And even like, I'm not confirming them, but I'm like right there in it, and I hold the oil for him, and it was beautiful.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yay, sacraments.
Yes.
And will you baptize my baby?
Oh my gosh, yes. So many times.
He already knows this. So many times.
I baptized the baby today.
Do you know what my secret fear is? And I know this is irrational. I'm secretly afraid my baptism wasn't valid. That I just don't know.
Yeah. That is a really scary thing.
Wasn't there a story of a guy in the diocese who was a priest, and then he...
Not here, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Twice it happened a couple years ago, of priests, ordained priests, who then found out they weren't validly baptized.
Yeah.
It's a real problem.
Yeah. Scary. I went home for Easter and I was like, Mom, are you sure? But look, my mom, like, majored theology, probably would be paying attention to that just as much as I will.
Yeah.
Just kidding. I don't have to worry about it.
I hold the book.
Yeah, I would never not do that. If it would make a difference, like, there's no chance that I wouldn't, like, read the words forever. But
yeah.
I was like, are you sure? She's like, I'm very sure. I promise. So
yeah,
I think I'm fine, but...
Yeah, I think those...
Maybe I'm a heathen.
Those events put, like, fear in a lot of people, where they're like, I have to go find out. And sometimes you can't know.
Yep.
I would presume that it was.
Yeah, and I'm probably gonna be just fine if I chose.
I don't know.
We'll find it later.
Into the couch.
Probably. Anyway.
So, we'll be back next time.
Yeah, we will. We will.
Peace.